Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to the second in our five-part series about ArcGIS Online and the local government information model. I'm Allison Walker, and I manage the Tech Services Department here at Electdata, and I'll be taking you through the webinar again today. I have to pre-apologize here. I'm at the tail end of a cold and have a lingering and annoying cough that I really hope will leave me alone for the next 30 minutes. But if you hear me go silent, it's probably not that you've lost audio, but that I've had to mute myself for a minute. So today's webinar will deal with ArcGIS for Public Works and the many tools and applications that are available to you free of charge with your ArcGIS Online account. If you're interested in attending any of the upcoming webinars in this series, or if you'd like to watch the recordings of previous ones, please visit our website at electdata.com/webinar. Today's webinar will also be recorded and available on our website after today. I encourage you to send me your questions and comments using the questions section in your webinar panel, and I will do my best to keep an eye on that as we go through the webinar today. I think most of you are familiar with Electdata, but in case you only know us in one capacity, here's a quick rundown of the services we offer, including GIS services, water and weather monitoring solutions, UAS products, software development, equipment rentals, and our tech services, which include repair, support, and training. Electronic Data Solutions is coming up on its 30-year anniversary next year. So since 1986, the business has always been focused around electronic field data collection. And of course, you can imagine how technology has changed over that time, and Electdata has always changed with it to provide our customers with the latest and greatest technology, integrations, and expertise. And really today is no different. So we have our ArcGIS Online specialty rating from Esri, and we've worked hard to package some really great services around ArcGIS Online. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the fun stuff here. So in our first webinar, I talked about ArcGIS for water utilities, and specifically we looked at using the local government geodatabase to standardize and organize your data structure. I showed some of the pre-built geometric networks available for you to take advantage of. I showed the data reviewer tool that's available for water utilities. We talked about the pre-configured web maps that can be used in Collector. And I talked about the capital improvement project configuration of ArcGIS with its attribute assistant add-in. If you missed that one or need a refresher on any of those topics, I'd encourage you to go take another look at that. Today, I'm going to talk about public works, and specifically I'll focus on configurable maps to enable fast and efficient field data collection. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time on data collection today than I did last time. We'll also talk about the many maps and apps available to share information with the organization as well as with the public. And finally, we'll talk about using ArcGIS Online to gather data from the public. So I'm sure by now you've seen or tested or are currently using the Collector app, and the benefits that I'd like to focus on today are, number one, that it's really easy to configure lots of data collection apps very quickly, and it's very easy to use in the field. So if you have field crews that struggle with electronic data collection, or if you have only temporary or seasonal workers, then Collector is going to look very attractive. Also, when data is submitted, it's automatically sent to the feature service, whether hosted online or on your own server. So there's no need to physically connect to the device to a computer and manually transfer and merge data. So I wanted to start by showing a Collector map. Now this one is not part of the local government information model. They do have a signs data collection available, but this was just a quick video that we created for another seminar that just gives you a quick rundown if you haven't seen Collector. So you can use your own custom symbology. This is an application that we built for another customer where we have their custom symbology in there so that we can collect data based on the picture of the sign rather than the name of the sign. And it's the database is subtyped so that we can auto-populate some fields like the MUTC code, the sign color, and we can choose specific pick lists. So for example, the size on this one only has 2 choices, so we can narrow that down. So it just makes it a little bit easier. So while Collector isn't really customizable, you can design it based on your geodatabase to sort of customize it based on your needs. There are some tools here. This one's specifically for signs. Being able to collect another feature at the same location is a really nice feature. So if you want to collect multiple signs on one pole, or if you're collecting poles along with the signs and you want them to have the same geometry, then Collector makes that very easy to use. So now I can collect another construction symbol on that same pole, and then I know that they'll have the same geometry if I need to link them up later. And of course, not only it's collecting new data, but also it's great at updating existing data. So it's very fast in the field if you need to load large data sets, and you can go out and do maintenance on your data. So this is basically the same thing. I'm just editing an existing stop sign. It has all the same functionality, the same schema, and all the same drop-down lists and automatically populated data. And of course, if you have attachments enabled on your feature service, then you can attach photos or files or whatever you need to along with that. So for this one here, I have a stop sign that's been damaged or completely run over, and it needs to be replaced. So that's what I'm going to submit there. So that's a quick collector in a nutshell there, what it looks like in the field. So in the Public Works section of the local government geodatabase model, there are 10 different pre-configured web maps that can be used to collect and update data using collectors. So these are already built for you. And again, the idea is that instead of having one application with all your assets in it, which sometimes can confuse the map and the data collection, we have specific maps all with their own purpose. And it's much easier to just choose the app that you want than to look at everything in the same application. This is not to say that you can't put everything in the same map and do it that way. It's just easier for the field crew if everything's separated out this way. So I'm going to take a quick minute to show you the traffic signals option here, because not only is it a web map, but it comes with some additional tools that can help you do some auto-population once the data is back in the office. So here I am again on my device in the collector application, and I have all of the web maps that either I have created or that have been shared with me, or shared into groups that I'm a part of. I'm going to specifically look at the Jerome maintenance group to sort of narrow this down. So there you can see my street sign demo map that I just showed, the backflow inspection map from last time, and the signal inventory map that I'm going to show you today. And let me tell you, in Jerome, Idaho, there sure are a lot of traffic signals. So we have one here. Let's say we have a new one here at the high school. So I'm going to create a new pole right there on the map. And then I'm going to fill out the information just like I normally would. Now you can see here that I am not filling out the facility ID. That's going to be something that I'm going to have auto-populated once I get this data back into the office using the attribute assistant that comes with this application. So I'm filling this all out. We'll say it's this. I'm just going to submit this. We'll say that that's good enough. So now it's sending the updates to the feature service hosted in ArcGIS Online. Again, I'm going to use this at the same location tool to collect my signal because I want my traffic signal to have the same geometry as the pole that it's on. And that will help me, again, populate some fields once I get it back in the office. So now, again, I'm not filling out the facility ID or the pole ID. I'm just filling out the general inventory information here. So we'll say that's going to be a halogen light. We'll say, yes, it has a backplate. I'm just going to skip to the end here, and we'll say, oh, that's been filled out. Now I'm going to submit that. And it's sending the updates again to the feature service hosted in ArcGIS Online. Now I'm going to move away here. Let's say I'm all done with my data collection. I'm back in the office. So now this is back in ArcGIS Online on the computer. And here I have my signal inventory web map. And I can go ahead and open that up in the map viewer. And I can see, yep, sure enough, there's my new traffic signal in a town with only 3 traffic signals. And so I know that it's there. So I'm going to go ahead now and open that up in ArcMap because I want to populate those fields. So here I'm looking at ArcMap, and you can see that I have the layers in the map that are hosted on ArcGIS Online. So I'm looking at the same layers here, and everything's been updated, of course, in real time. So if I can create a local copy of the polls for editing here on my desktop computer, and then I'm going to start editing those polls. Now, this is where I'm going to use the Attribute Assistant tool that comes with this application. And this can be configured if you don't want to use the local government model or if you want things populated differently than what they have here. I've just used it basically straight out of the box. So I ran the little tool to populate that field. And now if I go ahead and look at the attribute there, I can see that my facility identifier has been populated the way I want with pole-16. So I'm going to do the same thing now. We'll stop editing the poll, and then we'll go into the signals and create a local copy of editing for that feature layer. I'll do the same thing and start editing on the signal layer here. And then just like last time, I'm going to select the feature that I'm interested, and I'm going to run the tool to run those manual rules from the Attribute Assistant. I say yes, go ahead and run that. And then when I look at the attribute table, my facility ID has been filled out for this signal. And in addition, because these share the same geometry now, my pole identifier has also been filled in to match the pole that's at that location. So a nice way to sort of automate some fields. So I'm going to save the edits, stop editing, and then what I can do is synchronize these local edits back up with the feature service that's hosted online. So I'm basically just using ArcGIS Online as my server. I'm letting my data live there. It's a very small data set. It's not costing me anything. I'm just going to let it live up there. You could do the exact same thing with your server. So I'm going to refresh the map here and then just check to make sure that in fact those changes have been made. Yes, my facility ID has been populated and my signal and pole ID have been populated in the signal. So let's look at another one. This one's a little outside the local government apps available, but I think this little app called Survey 123 has the potential to be a hit. And I wanted to mention it here since we're talking about data collection already. It has some functionality that Collector doesn't have. Technically, it's still in beta, as it's still missing some functionality, but it is downloadable and usable now. And just like Collector, it's a free app that only requires an ArcGIS Online login to create the forms. So if I sign in here, again, I'm just going to sign in with my ArcGIS Online account. Right now, in its current functionality, it does require an ArcGIS Online login in order to come in here and see your surveys, but there will be functionality in the future to allow you to share that with the public so that they can fill out surveys even without having to have this ArcGIS Online login. So you could see I've chosen there the dry weather screening survey that my wonderful coworker Chris has built for this kind of demo. So this is doing dry weather screening. We've had a few different counties come and ask us, if we could take this dry weather screening sheet and turn it into electronic data collection. So you can see it's kind of grouped out here into different groups. So at the top here I have my details group and I can fill in some information about the sheet number and the ID here and the date. Pretty basic stuff. So this is all stuff that Collector can do already. Can put in the time and 24-hour code. I can have a general information group here, so I can say it's been more than 24 hours, when it rained more than 0.1 inches, here's the inspection team. I can fill out some details about the location here. So we'll say this is the Jerome office. And this is going to be an initial inspection. Excuse me. Open channel, commercial. You could fill out some information about the permits or the name of the companies that are around here. This is all part of the form that was given to us. Now here's one piece I can say, flow observed, and then it brings up the cubic feet per second question there below it. Now that's not something that Collector can do now. There are other applications that can do that, and Collector will be able to in the future, but right now that's not a possibility to have sort of conditional attributing like that. And you can see I can give myself some hints here, so pipe in inches, channel width in feet. Oh, sorry about that. So here I'm filling out the bucket method, and I have half a gallon that I've collected in 60 seconds. And then when I click down here, it's making those calculations for me. So that's a really cool piece of functionality that this application has. Excuse me. In addition to that, we have some multi-select, another thing that Collector doesn't have right now. So I can select multiple choices from the same list here. So we'll say it smells like rotten eggs and sewer. It's just lovely water. And maybe it's gray. Maybe there are some floatables in there. So again, basically taking just the paper form that allows them to check multiple options and putting that in here. And I could fill out all of this information. I've got some water quality parameters down here. When I'm finished, I would use this checkbox down in the lower right, and then it asks me, would you like to send the survey now? So if I'm connected, I can send it now, or if I happen to be disconnected, then I can choose to send it later. And then you'll see here that I have this little 1 in the upper right of my icon that indicates that I have one survey that's ready to be sent. If I go in there and take a look at it, then I can either continue collecting data or I can look at the surveys that are in my outbox there. If I wanted to, I could go back in and update that survey if I needed to, if I accidentally submitted it. So I don't want to do that. I want to go ahead and send the survey. And then again, because this is hosted in ArcGIS Online, that data is instantly available and I can go get the data out of there in whatever format I need. So pretty neat little application there. I think it's going to have a lot of uses coming up here soon in the future. Okay, so that's all I'm going to show then on the field data collection. Let's move on to ArcGIS Online's biggest strength, really, which is sharing data. There are some really great tools for executives for presenting, such as story maps and PowerPoint templates, as well as some nice management and decision-making tools like dashboards. So here's an example of a snow operations dashboard that could be very quickly adopted using the local government tools available. Just plug in your own data here and you're off and running. This one is a little bit fancier. It does have some things running in the background. So this one does require that you're running on ArcGIS for server. It's running some geoprocessing tools there. And it also requires the GeoEvent extension, which will cost you. But it's so that's how they're getting these updates in real time, is by using that extension. But you don't have to have those things to create your own dashboard. So all of these little things are just widgets that can be added into the dashboard. And basically it's intended to be sort of just a real-time instant snapshot of what's going on in the field to help you make faster decisions. So let's also take a look at sharing data within the organization. And this is last time, I've grabbed a quick video from Esri's site, and I've shortened it up a little bit here, but you can take a look at this on their website if you want to see the whole thing. And I apologize for the resolution. It doesn't look very good. I'm sorry that you can't see it very well, but basically the idea here is that they have an event coming up. It's a parade. They're using it to make a quick map and share some information with different departments in the city. So they've created an event area and given the event a name, and then again, using the attribute assistant, any features that are created within that area will automatically have the event ID populated. So that's what they've been doing here. Oh, what happened there? Oh, it's still going. Okay. Sorry, they are creating their parade route here, and then that parade route will be associated with that event ID. And then we can turn on some points here, and it has all these pre-configured feature templates. So this one is a road closure. I know you can't really read that, but Again, the event ID is automatically filled out there just because it was created within the event area. And then if they put in the responsible agency here as the Public Works Department, then everyone that they create after that automatically has that attribute filled out. So they have all these road closures here that the Public Works Department is going to be responsible for, and they want to be able to share that information with that department. And again, I've cut it up here. They've created a bunch of other points there on the map that different departments are responsible for, and they go ahead here and then make a quick printable PDF in order to share that in case they need that information. And then when they're finished creating this, so here is your printable map. That gets created in about 5 minutes, and you're ready to go. And then in addition, they go ahead and post this to a service in ArcGIS online. And I've sort of skipped through here a lot of that stuff. So they go ahead and share as a service. You've probably seen all that before. Anyway, it gets out to ArcGIS Online, and we're looking at the same map there. And then they can save that and then create a little web application. And then all of the different departments can just click on the web application anytime, see all of the pieces that they're responsible for on this parade. So it's a great way to share data internally between different departments. Very fast, very simple. The whole video is about 10 minutes long, and they do it from start to finish. Here's an event, here's what I need to create, and here are the people I need to share it with. And there's your application, which of course could be viewed on your desktop or on your phone or tablet or wherever you happen to be. Okay, and then of course there is the customer interaction piece, which is always part of ArcGIS Online. So the local government information model, and specifically the Public Works Group, has a story map configuration to communicate upcoming and ongoing or completed projects, web maps to show road closures or public parking, and web maps to help citizens locate services. There's so much out there. So here's one that allows citizens to search for government services in their area, which I just think is pretty neat. Again, easily configured with your own data. So again, they're using the Naperville data here. And this is another video from Esri's website, so I give them credit for this. They're putting in an address. They're searching for the location on the map. And once it finds that and processes that, then it brings up all of these different services available in that area down at the bottom, when your trash pickup is, when your recycling pickup is, when your street cleaning is, all of that information that they need to know. Where's the library? Where's the post office, the police station, the fire stations? All of that information is given to them at a click of a button. So this is the idea that you own this type of authoritative data, and you want to make this easy for people to find, whether they're searching on a desktop or searching on their phone or searching on a tablet. This is going to show up nice in any location. And then there's some routing available there. There's some sharing tools available there, just making it easy to share that information with the public. This is not something you have to design on your own. Basically, just plug in your own data and play. We also have ways to allow customers to share information with us, which is another important piece. So real quick here, we'll see who's still paying attention. Let's get a show of hands. So using the raise hand tool on your control panel there, raise your hand if you have some form of service request on your website, whether it's just generic, like the one right there on the right there, or whether it's specific to some problem, like the mosquito complaint form on the left. Is there somewhere on your website where people can communicate requests or complaints to you? Wait here for a second. It looks like we're still coming in. Okay, not many. Just a couple of you have service requests on your website. Let's do a quick poll, just really for my own information. Oh, wait. Let's see. So would it be useful for you to have a service request form and integrate that into your GIS, or better yet, into your work order system where your customers can go online, they fill out a form, and then that's automatically in your GIS or in your work order system? Looks like we're getting quite a few votes in here. Still coming in, still coming in. Okay, we're slowing down here. We've gotten most of you. So it looks like about half of you say yes, and half of you are unsure if this would be useful or not. So I can certainly understand that. If you want to take a look here. Okay, so let's go back here. I need to show my screen again. Can you help me out here? Raise my hand if you can see my presentation again. Did I do that right? Yes, okay, thank you, appreciate that. All right. So here is an example of one of your options for doing that. There's an example on our website this is on our ArcGIS Online homepage, and there's a service request form here, and this is just a geoform. So this is one of the applications that's available in ArcGIS Online, really easy to configure. You can embed this into your website, or you can just link it to your website, and you can have them fill out all of this information. You could include drop-down lists if you wanted to have them choose specific things on certain problems. And then you can have them select a location, either by using a location on their device, or by searching for an address, or by looking on the map and clicking on a point. And then when they submit that, then again, that's submitted instantly to the feature service that's hosting that particular layer in ArcGIS Online or on your server. So then that can be instantly integrated into your GIS, or if you have a work order system like CityWorks that's built on top of your GIS, then you can have it create a work order from that information also. And I'm getting towards the end here, so I'm not going to show this whole thing, but here's an even fancier one if you want something besides just the geoform, if you want it to look nice. Here's a piece from the local government information model for public works called the Citizen Problem Reporter. Again, just download it, configure it, put it out on your website. It looks a little bit nicer. You can go through and choose the different options here. Did I click away from that? Sorry. So anyway, you can see if I wanted to fill out an animal complaint here, I could open that in a new tab. I'm just going to open it right here in the application. I can see all of the animal complaints that might have been in the area where I'm viewing the map, but if I wanted to create a new one, then I can choose here. Let's say I have a noisy dog or something that I want to complain about. I could fill in all of the information here. It asks for my name and information. It puts it in a date, and again, it'll choose the location using the locator down there at the bottom. Okay. So like I mentioned at the beginning, we do have services packaged around our ArcGIS Online specialty rating. So whether that's just helping with an implementation, or just providing recommendations, whether doing some training, or just being an extra hand in one of your projects. We know that the time involved in getting up to speed and getting these services rolling can be a lot. Once you're rolling, it's just a plug and play here, but getting rolling can be difficult. So just keep us in mind when you're ready to dive in and see what we can offer you to help save you some time and money on this. In the meantime, please feel free to take a look at some of our resources on our ArcGIS Online homepage where I just showed you there. You can see some examples of weed and mosquito control apps, story maps, as well as our local government gallery. I'd also suggest visiting our blog at electdata.com/blog. You can take a look at our store here, and if you go to the GIS services page and ArcGIS online there, then you can see some of the different industries we've been working in here and some of the descriptions of some of the services that we offer around those industries. And of course, if you have additional questions, you're welcome to contact me directly. So please feel free to go ahead and do that. Thanks very much for your time, and have a wonderful day.